Welcome to Yoga Intermissions. My name is Karen, coming to you from Salt and Sand Studios right here in Vermont, here meaning on my side of the interwebs. Great to be here with you. Today we're going to practice a calm flow. Just kind of the words allow you to absorb the notion of calmness. I invite you to find a seat that is comfortable for you, even if that means sitting on your heels or sitting in a chair. Taking a moment to settle in with this posture. We'll be here together for 50 minutes. That was just a peek at my clock. Hands can settle either in your lap or on your thighs, and maybe the eyes are closed or at half mast. If they're at half mast, you might gaze about 2 to 3 feet in front of you, downward. Allow the breath to begin to settle down. Take a moment to notice it without changing it. And deepen the breath. Imagine a clear body of water, maybe like a pond or a lake or even a puddle. You're gazing down through this water, so clear, so pure, that you can see the substrate, the bottom of whatever this pool of water is. Maybe you see rocks, perhaps a little green, sand, or maybe shells. The nature of this water, clear and calm. And if you take a rock, throw it into the water, it lands on the substrate. The undulation, the concentric rings of water movement, little waves, move outward from that spot, that footprint. And the place where the rock fell onto the substrate becomes a little chaotic. Little bits, pieces of the substrate begin to rise up and muddy the water. A little bit of chaos, a little bit of movement, a little bit of uncertainty of where things are going, and the water is not clear. And yet, the nature of that water has not changed. The breath allows you to bring patience to this scenario. And over time, the little bits of substrate begin to settle back down to the bottom. The rings of waves slow and turn to calm once again. The mind is the same way. Take a big breath in through the nose. Let it go out the mouth. Consider an intention or a motivation for the practice this morning. Press your palms together at your heart. We'll start the more active part of the practice with a single chant of Ohm if you'd like to join in. It's not necessary, but if you would, breathe all the air out of your lungs. A long, full breath in. Om. You can flicker the eyes open. If you have a sweatshirt or a towel or are sitting on a block or a cushion or something, a pillow, you're going to slide behind it. Find your towel, fold it up so that it's about as thick as or thicker than my friend Nancy's pillow here. And then place this outer edges of the feet on top of that You might need to move your sitting bones away from it. The soles of the feet come together. This is an opportunity to calm the lower spine, to sort of undo lots of the stuff that we do to it. If your hips are hurting, you might move the sitting bones even farther away. We're going to open the palms toward the sky and rest the arms on the knees, inner knees. Shrug the shoulders up to the ears, breath in. Press the shoulders behind you and down, breath out. We'll take that again. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up. Exhale, press them behind you and down. Maybe now your wrists are just about on the inner knees. Inhale, shoulders shrug up. Exhale, press them behind you and down. Maybe now the wrists are the backs of the hands. Beautiful. Drop the chin toward the chest, breath out. Like a pendulum, we'll start very slowly with the breath to swing the chin left and right. And inhale, chin moves toward the right. Nice and slow. Exhale, chin drops down. Inhale, chin toward the left. Exhale, chin drops down. 2 more of those arcs with the breath in, the chin moving upward. And the exhale, the chin moves downward. On an inhale, lift the chin to be parallel to the ground. Your choice now to remain where you are or shift into a comfortable seated position. If you want to shift your cushion or your towel or blanket underneath your sitting bones, go ahead and do that. We're going to take a few more things from our seated posture. So if you've just crossed your legs in the normal habitual way, shift them to the opposite crossing. You might find that it actually feels a little bit more open than the way you normally do it because you've been doing it the other way for so long. Or maybe it feels a little more closed, but we don't worry about that. This time we're going to go ahead and place the palms upward again. Turn the chin toward the left shoulder. Breathe in, get long in your spine. Turn the chin maybe a little more toward your left shoulder. Eyes can be open or closed. Belly draws a little bit inward to tuck the tailbone down. 1 more round of breath. Next breath in, come around to center. Breathe out, turn the head to the opposite side. Inhale, head returns to center. I'm going to go ahead and take the peace fingers, peace, happy Independence Day, and place them outside the hips. Nice long arms grounding us to the earth. This might cause a little bit of hunching, so you're going to work the navel inward and press the tailbone downward. Release the shoulders from the ears. Pause here for a moment. Maybe the eyes are closed or open. And we're going to open up the right fingers and lift the right arm nice and high. We're not tilting yet, but we're extending both sides of the body so the heart lifts. Maybe reach the fingers a little more toward the sky. Breathe in nice and deep. Exhale, tilt over toward the right, left. The left, it's your left. Inhale the heart a little high. Maybe the gaze lifts just a tiny bit as you tilt a little bit more, opening up the entire right side body from the hip bone to the pinky finger. Allow the finger sign to happen again with the right hands and both arms float high, finding your peace fingers here. And see if the fingers can touch overhead. Lift the arms nice and long. And the breath in. Exhale, right fingertips come extended toward the ground, out to the side. Inhale, can release the left fingertips. Exhale, and tilt over toward the right. Inhale, get tall, both arms sweep high. Exhale, cactus arms. taking up more space in your space with the elbows and the shoulders. One at a time, drop the hands behind you and intertwine your fingers. Draw the knuckles toward the ground. They might touch, they might not. Shoulder blades start to move together. Before you spread the collarbones, see if you can lift the navel upward and inward. Lift the rib cage away from the hips and then open the collarbones a little bit more. Maybe you have enough space to work with to drop the head back, opening up the throat chakra, your communication energy center. Tuck your chin toward your chest. Sweep your arms around to the front. Fingertips come about 8 to 12 inches in front of your front shin. Find a nice long back. That might mean drawing the shoulders toward the hips, the belly in and up. Walk the hands forward to keep a long spine. Nose points toward the ground. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, navel moves in a little bit more. Fingers gather a little more energy before you exhale, drop your head. Inhale, walk the hands back toward your front shin. Right hand stays in front, left hand comes behind you. Take a nice tall breath in. Exhale, right hand outside the left knee or thigh for a twist over the left shoulder. Long spine, each breath in. Twist on the breath up. Inhale, swing through to center. This time the hands come behind you. Press the floor away to extend the heart once more. Draw the shoulder blades together. See if you can tuck the tailbone even while you're lifting the front body. Maybe the head drops. Chin tucks. Shift onto your sacrum. Switch the cross of your legs. Swing the arms back in front of you. Walk the hands forward. Super duper long spine. Pause for a moment to breathe in. Lengthen the front body, draw the belly in. Hands might crawl forward another inch or two before you drop the head. Make your way into a child's pose. As you find your way into this face down pose with the knees wide, the big toes touching, the forehead resting on something, and the sitting bones toward the hips, I'm going to go ahead and take my microphone and point it more toward me, perhaps to help you hear things a little bit better. It's plugged in, which is great, but it was pointed away from me and kind of far away. In your child's pose, take a huge breath in through the nose. Open the mouth. Let it all go. Let the palms come together with the pinky fingers on the mat, the thumbs pointing toward the sky. Forehead still on the mat. Bend the elbows to bring the fingers to the nape of the neck or between the shoulder blades. And one at a time, the elbows walk forward until you can't walk them forward anymore, and remain with the sitting bones, energy moving toward the heels. Breath in nice and deep. As you exhale, the hands plant onto the ground. And wrists are parallel to the elbows. Draw upward into a forearm tabletop, moving the knees so that they're right under the hips. So that might mean moving them inward and backward. Elbows underneath the shoulders, and we find some cat and cow shapes here, really working the upper back Opening and arching, finding flex and lubrication in the spine. Maybe even in the cat-cow shape, a little movement left to right. And perhaps on the cat shape, the sitting bones come toward the heels. Inhale into your cow. Find a neutral spine, so you're drawing the navel in and tucking the tailbone. One at a time, bring the hands to the mat under your shoulders. Step the left foot behind the left wrist. You can sneak it forward if you need to by heel toeing it. Fingers nice and wide. And the knee is outside your tricep here. We're going to take a little bit of a crouch, but the bum will be higher than the head. So step the right foot behind the right wrist and drop your head. Ensure the feet are parallel to the outer edges of the mat. Ragdoll with the arms. Maybe you take the non-habitual cross of the arms. Belly is on the thighs and it remains there even as you breathe out and press the floor away, enough to extend the legs, maybe a teeny bit, or maybe a lot. You want to be kind to the low back, and thus the belly is connected to the thighs. Let the head nod and shake. Breathe in. Exhale, release the hands to the mat. Press the floor away on a breath in, rise to standing. Arms will sweep high overhead once you get the shoulders over the hips. Exhale, palms together at your heart. Samastiti. Inhale once again as you drop the hands and sweep them nice and tall and high toward the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Breathe in for a halfway lift, long flat spine. Exhale, forward fold. Step the left foot way to the back of the mat for a runner's lunge. Take your time. If anything's creeping into the mind, remember the mind's natural state is calm. Whatever you just dropped in there might create a little flurry in the substance of the mind. Concentric circles, but if you pause and breathe, they will slow down. Drop the back knee to the mat, untuck your toes one at a time. Your hands come to your thigh and your shoulders stack over your hips. Finding a modified Anjaneyasana, press the top of the left foot into the mat and the heel of the right foot into the mat. Allow the right hand to come to your right hip and sweep the left arm nice and high. A back bend to start as you liven up the left glutes to tuck the tailbone. Lift the front body, squeeze the shoulder blades, deep breath in. Exhale to tilt over to the right. If you're feeling wobbly, use the feet, but you might also heel toe the right foot out to the right. Inhale as you rise up nice and tall. The right arm comes up to face the left. Breathe in, rotate the shoulder blades toward one another. Let the pinkies smile at each other. Exhale, sink a little deeper into your front knee. Anjaneyasana. Activating the left glutes, tucks the tailbone to protect the low spine. Deep breath in. Exhale, arms float in front of you. Lock them back into your shoulders. Take another breath in. As you exhale, swing the right arm behind you for a twist. And imagine I'm there, taking a little tug at both of your wrists, reaching them to the front and back. Nice long arms. Another breath in. Exhale, heel of the right hand to your low back. Breathe in once again. Exhale, left hand to the mat. Deepen the twist by expanding And extending the spine long on the breath in and twisting the navel around the spine, the breath out. If it feels correct for your body at this moment, the right arm might sweep up toward the sky. Big breath in. Exhale, right hand to the mat. Tuck your back toes under to lengthen that leg, coming into a runner's lunge. Big breath in. Exhale, step the left foot up to meet the right. Drop your head. Press the floor away with the feet to lift the hips to the sky. Inhale, float to standing. Exhale, cactus arms. A breath in, heart lifts, front body lifts, shoulder blades lift away from the ribs on the back. Exhale. The opposite way that you did before, if you can remember, not a big deal if you can't. You're going to drop one hand behind you. The other will meet it, so the fingers intertwined in the awkward way. Opposite index finger on the top. Knuckles move down. Take a look down at your feet. Allow them to be parallel to the outer edges of the mat. A slightly wide chair pose with the feet, Utkatasana. Big breath in. Exhale, fold with your bind. Inhale. Exhale, hands drop. Guide the hands up the shins for a halfway lift or keep the fingers on the mat, shoulders toward the hips. Exhale, forward fold. Right foot steps way to the back of the mat, runner's lunge to start. Back knee drops. One hand at a time comes to your thigh. Modified Anjaneyasana. You start to feel the energy in the front of the right hip crease opening up. If that is not the case, the left foot might scooch forward. And go ahead and press more energy into the front heel and the top of the back foot. Left hand comes to the hip, right arm floats high. Long on both sides of the body. Next breath out, a tilt over to the left. Heart shines toward the stars. Inhale, float the left arm up to meet the right. Shoulders rotate. Breath in. Exhale, arms straight in front of you. Lock them back into your shoulders. Long inhale. Exhale, twist left arm behind. Biceps, triceps, active, fingers active, belly active, glutes active, head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Reach front and back. Heel of the left hand comes to the low back. Exhale, the right hand down to the mat. Twist. And if it's available to you, maybe the left arm sweeps up. Opening the heart even more to the sky by using the belly. Deep breath in. Exhale, left hand to the mat. Tuck your back toes under for runner's lunge. Big breath in. Exhale, right foot steps up to meet the left, finding your way directly into chair pose. Maybe the big toes touch this time. Either way, the feet are parallel to the outer edges of the mat. We send the energy from the sitting bones behind the heels. Rise up to the balls of the feet. Keep the tailbone tucked, sink a little deeper into your seat. Press the heels in toward the mat, hands to the heart. We're going to take an upright twist, breath in. Exhale, twist to the right. Keep spinning the thighs toward one another. If your feet are wide, the knees don't touch, but if your big toes are touching or connecting, the knees can touch. Inhale, draw through center. Check where the shoulders are. Exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale toward center. Exhale, forward fold. Woo! Breathe in, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Exhale, hands plant, step back, high plank. Maybe you thought you were going to get away without a vinyasa today. Deep breath in. Well, you're not, but the next thing on the breath out is downward dog. Lift the hips. Your dog and your plank are the same length. Breathe in. Exhale. Inhale, peel forward nice and slowly to your high plank. Exhale all the way down to the mat. Chaturanga, untuck your toes. Shift into a baby cobra. It's not grown to an adult yet. Exhale down to the mat. Downward facing dog. Maybe through child's, tabletop, or plank. 3 beautiful cleansing breaths here. The left foot steps 1 inch to the right. Breathe in, float the right leg high. Open up your downward dog. Stack the right hip over the left. Bend the knees so the heel drops toward the glutes. Maybe you find circles with ankles or knees. A breath in extends the leg long. A breath out, knee to nose. Inhale, lengthen back out. This time, as you swing the knee toward the nose, step the foot inside the right hand, returning to runner's lunge. Find a stance that works for you. Shoulders toward the hips. Hover over your thigh, hands by your sides. Really strong. Using the whole front foot. Belly strong, inhale, rise up, crescent warrior. Big breath in, back bend. Exhale, sink deeper into your front knee. Breath in. Open up, warrior 2. Maybe adjusting your stance longer. Checking in that the bone on the front of the right hip is peeling away from the right thigh, even as you sink into your front knee. Flip your front palm. Reverse the warrior. Heart lifts toward the stars. Side angle, right forearm inside the right thigh. Left arm sweeps around. Maybe the bicep stays over the ear, or perhaps the arm reaches straight up to the sky, giving more opportunity for your heart energy to connect with what's going on up there above the earth. Return to warrior 2. Extend your right leg, bring your hands to your hips. Spin on your right heel to point both toes toward the side of the mat. Heels out, toes in, breath in. Exhale, halfway down. Find extension in the spine by moving the shoulders toward the hips and the crown of the head away from your sitting bones. Big breath in. Exhale all the way down, deeper fold. Head is like a bowling ball. Let it hang. I guess you would say let it roll, but that would be a queen thing. That's not happening. Anything you would like here. Maybe the hands walk outside the feet. One at a time. Maybe you take another twist. Maybe the fingers spin the opposite direction and walk between the feet for a deeper fold. Hands move back under the shoulders. Your right foot becomes parallel to the front of your mat, and your left foot now points toward the back of the mat. You're going to spin around to find your runner's lunge, facing the back of the mat. You might adjust, bringing the left foot out to the left. Hover over your thigh. Amazing statue on the bow of a ship. You are beautiful and strong and can withstand so much chaos in the weather, chaos around you, knowing that the state of the mind, even underneath all that, is calm. Inhale, rise up, crescent warrior. Big breath in. Open up, warrior two. Shoulders stacked right over the hips, so if you need to activate the glutes a little bit more to make that happen, go ahead. Press more energy into the outer edge of the right foot. Flip your front palm, reverse the warrior. Heart, lift, lift, lift. Side angle. Don't forget that back leg. Apparently I just did and my knee was bending. Big breath in, come back to warrior two and reverse the warrior. Send the right hand up so the fingers take a hold of the left wrist. Imagine you're like a little cartoon, and by tugging that left arm, the front leg extends. Reverse triangle. You might shorten your stance a little bit to take a little of the energy out of the lower back. Warrior two arms. Notice how the hips and shoulders are in alignment before moving into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Gaze wherever feels okay for the body. How many cool triangles is the body making right now? Maybe there are some uncool ones, but we don't worry how deep we get. Big breath in and out. And next move is a little bit tricky. While we bend into the front knee, we're going to come onto the ball of the back foot, and then the right hand comes and meets the left. Bending the front left knee, coming onto the ball of the back foot. So now the arms are long toward the mat at a prayer shape inside your calf. Big breath in. Exhale, sink deeper. Big breath in. Exhale, hands under the mat inside your left foot. Heel toe the left foot way to the left of the mat. It comes to the outside of the outer edge of the mat. Drop your back knee if you prefer lizard with the knee down. Untuck your toes. Now might be a good time for a quad stretch, either with the left hand or the right. And when you're ready, you'll peel to the outer edge of the left foot, opening it like a book. Maybe that is plenty for your body, or perhaps the hands can walk forward, allowing the forearms to come to the mat or to a prop. Here you're making space between the shoulder blades, like you're spreading the wings that are attached to them. And there's space underneath the shoulder blades as well. The belly is not hanging into oblivion here. We're drawing it very lightly in and up, along with the pelvic floor. One at a time, the hands come under the shoulders. Sole of the left foot returns to the mat. Back toes tuck. Extend your right leg. Walk back to the long edge of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, deeper fold. Maybe this time the forearms can come to the ground, maybe the top of the head. You can play around a little bit with your balance, coming to the balls of the feet, lifting the balls of the feet off. Then finding stillness. With breath, the hands come under the shoulders. Heel toe the feet in a little bit. They're still wider than your hips. Left foot now is parallel to the original back of your mat, and the right foot points to the front of the mat to return to Warrior Two. Right palm flips and the arm lifts, reverse your warrior. Left arm reaches up, fingers take a hold of your wrist. Little cartoon tug extends the right knee, reverse triangle. A lot of cool triangles here too, now that I can take a moment to observe inwardly and outwardly. Warrior Two arms. Trikonasana. Triangle pose. Big breath in. And the tricky one again, front knee bends, come to the ball of the back foot. Arms long in front as the left hand meets the right. I love this approach because it's a real balance challenge. The belly helps you out here. Big breath in. Exhale, hands inside your right foot. Maybe the back knee drops. Toes untuck, and that foot heel toes out to the right till it reaches the edge of the mat, or maybe outside the edge. Quad stretch if you got it and it feels appropriate. Before moving into your full lizard, which you might already be in. Or maybe there's a different expression of it with the hands walking forward to allow the forearms to come to the mat. Or a prop. Big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. One at a time, the hands return to the mat under your shoulders. Tabletop is our next place to be. Maybe 5 hip circles might feel good here now that you've done both hip openers in a major way. Moving from our open downward dog to the Warrior Two and into lizard. The full range of motion. Sitting bones lift, the hips right over the knees. Hands walk forward for Anahatasana, inchworm pose, also known as puppy dog. The head is resting on something. And this is a heart opener, so we keep the hips high. Elbows might bend with the thumbs touching to relieve any pressure in the shoulders. A beautiful place to return to the image from the beginning of practice. This time, the pool of water is behind your heart. And rather than messing with the substrate, just a tiny little pebble is going to drop into this pool of water. And you feel the undulation, the concentric rings of little gentle waves, encouraging the heart to spread outward and downward, opening up. Huge round of breath. Shift the hips a little backward by pressing into the forearms. And then one at a time, bring your hands under your shoulders
Child's pose, maybe knees narrow, maybe wide. If they're narrow, you might bring the top of the head to the mat and the arms might swing around to meet the feet. Breath moves into the sacrum, spreading that space as if the sacrum could get larger in this room. Hands return under the shoulders, press the ground away. Make your way to a seat. We'll find our way into a twist, starting by bringing the left heel toward the right glutes. So the knee points as much as it can straight out of the hip, and the right ankle comes outside the left thigh. You're working to press the big toe mound into the mat, and the closer the left heel is to the glutes, the more you can make that happen, but that might not happen. You can see mine is still away from the ground. We find a little twist, maybe a deeper twist over the right shoulder. Spine extends on each breath in. The navel orbits the spine on the breath out for your twist. As little energy in the shoulders and that backhand as possible. Inhale, return to center. And because today is Saturday, July 4th, where there's some celebration of many things, mainly in our town, there's celebration of love and hope and kindness and people. We're going to go ahead and do our party move by taking the hands outside the left hip. Now, this is not actually a difficult thing, but it's confusing. It sort of represents some of the chaos maybe the body brings into the mind. So we're going to press the floor away with the feet to lift the hips high and face the back of the mat. We're not moving the feet at all. Then we're going to keep moving to the outside of the left foot, coming back around toward the front into the same posture on the other side. I know some of you might have ended up sideways or backwards. You'll go ahead and scoot your way with the right heel toward the left cheeks. Well, I guess top and bottom. And then the big toe mound of the left foot pressing into the ground. Breath in makes you nice and tall. And a breath out, a twist over the left shoulder. Inhale, return to center. Now we'll find Shavasana, extending the left leg onto the mat. Maybe scooting a little forward. Toes point toward your torso or the sky. The right foot is inside the left thigh. If you find it's difficult to sit up straight with the right foot here, you're going to move it downward toward the calf. If your practice is to raise your arms over your head, feel free to do so, but ensure that you're lifting the ribs away from the sitting bone, from the hip bones to do so, gathering the belly in and then reaching the heart forward. Don't worry about the arms, reach the heart forward before you find your full depth of fold. The aim here is to protect the low back, and sometimes we are not paying attention to that. Our awareness should draw in toward the breath and the length in the spine. And breath in, return to upright. And we'll take Shavasana on the other side. Long breath in lifts you upright. This time the soles of both of the feet come to the mat, knees point toward the sky. There's some space between the heels and the sitting bones. Lift the heart, extend the spine, arms float in front and then lock into the shoulders. Big breath in, lift the heart a little more. The belly can help by activating. Exhale, slowly come all the way down to the mat. Keep the spine long. I forgot to count. 20. Just kidding. All the way down to the mat, and one at a time, the knees hug in. Give them a really nice squeeze and some knee circles to massage out the low back. We'll take one final twist before moving into Shavasana. And we're going to do so by placing the soles of the feet back to the mat, hands on the mat, shift the hips slightly off the mat and over to the right, drop them down, allow yourself to come to the left hip with the knees dropping in that same direction. Arms spread, maybe close to the body, maybe not, but the palms are up. And if it works for your body, the head turns over to the right. Use the breath to guide the right hip forward toward the front of the mat. You'll find that there's a loosening of the left hip when you do that. Big breath in. Let it go. And the nose points toward the sky. Return the spine to the mat. And this time you'll lift the hips upward, send them over to the left, drop the knees to the right. Twist, maybe with the gaze over the left shoulder. Breath sends the left hip toward the front of the mat to relax everything. Big breath in. Release it out the mouth. Soles of the feet come back to the mat. You'll want to lift the hips a little away from the mat to re-extend the spine so it's as aligned as it would normally be top to bottom. Maybe the knees stay bent for Shavasana, or perhaps one leg at a time can stretch onto the mat, space between the feet, which drop toward the outsides of the mat. Lift your left shoulder blade off the mat, draw it toward the hip on the same side, then drop it down. Other side too, right shoulder blade lifts, it moves toward the hip on the right and it settles down into the mat. That opens up the heart, the palms face upward. One more full cleansing breath to release any remaining tension. Shavasana. Bring your awareness back to the breath. Imagine that the breath could create little undulations, little concentric circles of energy into the body of water, the pool of water that is your body. This beautiful movement of the breath encourages movement, reawakening back into the body. As the breath deepens, the movement builds momentum and the tiny movements become larger. until eventually you can bend a knee, then the other. Shift on to one side, whichever side feels, without any analysis, the right place to be. Knees are gathered up. You're in this little kind of cashew shape, nourishing, comforting. Return to your intention or motivation. And consider anyone and everyone today or who has come before us, who has loved and lost in the drive toward freedom and justice. And press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Cross legs, palms draw in toward the heart like they found their home there. We close our practice as we begin. A single chant of Ohm. If you'd like to join in, we'll take a moment to exhale all the air from the lungs. Full deep breath in. Thumb knuckles connect with your center forehead. Today, may you celebrate yourself, your loved ones, and all those who came before us, who fight for freedom, who reason for freedom, who work for freedom and justice for all. Namaste. Thank you so much. What a treasure to practice with you. And I hope you have an opportunity to donate, to share, to like, to subscribe, but certainly to enjoy your world today, tomorrow. And until next time, I look forward to seeing you again. Well.